Hi, Tim here. I just wanted to say that I watched the Joe Rogan and Russ Huff documentary or program on YouTube about the resurrections of Jesus. Well, I thought I know a lot about the resurrections of Jesus, so I'm going to put my 2 cents worth in. My information comes from the Midway Commission. That's your angels, the beings that are halfway between angel and man. So, anyways, Jesus made 19 separate appearances in visible form to his believers on earth, but he made no appearances to any of his enemies. The first resurrection, he showed up to the 5 women at the tomb, Mary Magdalene being one of them. The second resurrection was to Mary Magdalene. And the third was on noon Sunday at Bethany. It was at Jesus' brother James's. Lazarus' sister was there, and Mary Magdalene was there. This is her third time being there. Dave Zebedee and his mum were there. But this one was about his brother James to join the kingdom. They all had more or less difficulty in recognizing the Morantia form of the Master, but few of them had any trouble recognizing his voice or charm. The fourth resurrection to 20 family members and friends, and this was on Sunday before 2 o'clock at Martha Mary's house. Number 5, 25 women believers saw Jesus. And this was at the home of Joseph of Arimathea. This was at 4:15 in the afternoon Sunday. Mary Magdalene was there, and this was her fourth time to see Jesus. At this time around Rome, if you mentioned seeing Jesus, you would be put to death. So it was tough at that time, especially when he was trying to spread in the news of the Gospels, to spread the good news. The sixth resurrection was 4:30 on Sunday to some 40 Greek believers. He manifested himself in their midst. The funny thing was the doors were locked, but he still entered. He preached the gospel of salvation. The seventh resurrection was at 4:55 Sunday. 3 miles out of Jerusalem, he showed up to 2 brothers. He questioned the brothers about their beliefs. So he followed the brothers for a while, and when they realized it was Jesus, he vanished from their sight. Notice they say vanished. They don't say leave or left or walked away. He vanished from their sight. The eighth resurrection was to Simon Peter, and that was at 8:30 on Sunday. And he talked with him for 5 minutes in the garden about the past, the present, and the future. The ninth resurrection was shortly after 9 o'clock Sunday to 10 apostles with all the doors bolted in fear of arrest, but Jesus still appeared. He kind of gave them shit for not believing him when he said that he would come back. The 10th resurrection, now a second stage Morantia being. That means that Jesus is still growing and changing, becoming more and more like his Father as he does every resurrection. He appeared at Philadelphia to Abner and Lazarus, plus some 150 of their associates. He said, "You all know that we have one Father in heaven, and that there is but one gospel of the kingdom. The good news of the gift of the eternal life which men receive by faith. His 11th resurrection was at Simon's house with John Mark. He said to the apostles to go into all the world and preach this gospel of the kingdom. And that was Saturday, April 15th at 9 o'clock. The 12th resurrection was at 8:30, April 18th on Tuesday. He appeared to Rhodan and 80 other believers in Alexandria. Jesus said, "This gospel of the kingdom belongs to both Jew and Gentile, to rich and poor, free and bond, male and female, and to all the children." The 13th resurrection was 6 o'clock Friday, April 21st. To 10 apostles, he took them aside 2 by 2 and questioned them on their beliefs. This was all within 1 hour. On the 14th resurrection, 12 noon, April 22nd, it was to the apostles, and he went over a bunch of stuff about the kingdom. The 15th resurrection was 3 o'clock Saturday, April 29th. It was Peter's first sermon after the resurrection. Apostle Peter proclaimed Jesus is not dead. He vanished from their sight. At this time, the apostles wanted to preach the new gospel of the risen Lord. The 16th resurrection was at 9 o'clock at night, Friday, May 5th, in the courtyard of Nicodemus. The 11 apostles were there, the women's corpse and their associates, and he proclaimed the Gospels. The 17th resurrection was on Sabbath afternoon, 4 o'clock, May 13th, at Sinchar, to Nelda and about 75 Samaritans. The Gospels of the Kingdom has taught you that all men are the sons of God, that salvation is the free gift of God. The 18th resurrection at Tyre, at the closing of a meeting of believers, he said, "My Father requires that you grow up by grace to the full stature of spiritual adulthood." The last and final resurrection was early Thursday morning, May 18th, to the 11 apostles, just as they were sitting for breakfast. He took them to the Mount of Olives and talked about Judas and the Spirit of truth. There's a lot more in the Arantia book about this. I just picked out a few bits and pieces, but it gives you an idea of what was going on. He was basically going over all the stuff with these people about what he taught while he was here. And whenever he wasn't there, he was with his associates, which were angels, people from the commission, and all this stuff. He was attending to them. But there's so much more. If you read the Arantia book under the resurrections, it's awesome. Everybody has to read this. So that's all for now. We'll talk to you later.